This is Dan Dicks here reporting for Press for Truth. Some viewers of this channel may remember back a couple of years ago when this female billiards player was going up against a transgender athlete and she refused to compete. I reported on it in this video. Female pool player forfeits tournament over trans woman opponent. She did the leg, she shook her opponent's hand, and then she walked up to the referee and said something to the effect of, "I can't in good conscience compete against a man, I forfeit." At which point the entire crowd erupted in applause. The transgender athlete's sitting there with his hands up, and the crowd is cheering, saying, "Good for you, yay," standing up for women's rights like that. Well, guys, the same thing can't exactly be said for a female disc golfer, Abbie Wilson, who just walked off the course yesterday during the Music City Open in Nashville to protest a man who was allowed to compete against her in the women's division. She got up there and said, "Females must be protected in our division. This is unfair. I refuse to play." Good for her. This insanity must end. And here is the video. So she's introduced.
Abbie.
Females must be protected in our division. This is unfair. I refuse to play.
She says, "Females must be protected. I refuse to play. This is unfair." And she walks away. The guy filming for her just says, "Have a nice round, everyone." And listen to the reaction from one particular player, Paige Pierce.
Round, everyone.
We will. Definitely will.
We will. Well, we definitely will, in an extremely condescending tone. Well, here's a photo of Paige Pierce from a couple of years ago getting married to her girlfriend, which may explain why she is on the wrong side of history when it comes to this particular issue. Now, some of you may be saying, "Dan, they're just holding wooden sticks, hitting a couple of balls on a table, or it's just throwing pieces of plastic into a chain metal basket. Like, what's the big deal? It's not like they're in combat facing off against each other with swords or anything like that, right?" Well, guys, fast forward to today. This new video is showing this fencer kneeling in protest against an opponent that she says is transgender. What a crazy world we are in, ladies and gentlemen, when a fencer can be forced to compete against a man.
University of Maryland.
Against her
Turner
wishes.
went on to Fox News
Here
to
she's
explain her
explaining
actions.
her actions.
I was refusing defense because this person is a man and I am a woman, and this is a women's tournament, and I refuse to fence on principle.
Well, for refusing to fence on principle against a man, this female fencer was expelled for refusing to compete against a male opponent. This is just absolutely insane, guys. So in this video, we're going to talk about that, and we're going to talk about much more. But just before we do, guys, I'd ask that you check me out here at subscribestar.com/pressfortruth if you do appreciate my efforts to bring you this info. Guys, here you can sign up for $5, $10, $20 a month. Whatever is within your means, guys, is very greatly appreciated. I simply can't continue to do this work without the support that comes directly from you, the viewers. So if that's something you appreciate, please check that top link in the description below on whatever video platform you happen to be watching this one on today. All right, guys, this video of the pro female disc golfer walking out in protest against, a male opponent. The video was shared by Riley Gaines. She says, "It's catching fire. Another woman who refuses to participate in the farce. Proof that courage begets courage. Boycott." And Riley Gaines, in case you didn't know, is a former professional swimmer turned anti-transgender activist. A large part of what she was talking about years ago is what led to the sanity returning to this transgender madness, as Leah Thomas ended up being banned by the world's swimming governing body, FINA, who effectively banned this transgender woman from competing in women's sports. So in this video, I welcomed the trans sanity, as the world of female swimming has finally come to its senses by banning transgender athletes from competing. Well, The same thing can't be said about the world of fencing because they expelled this female fencer simply for refusing to compete against a male. It's absolutely insane, guys. A college female fencer in Maryland refused to compete against an opponent who is a biological male and has been expelled as a result. Stephanie Turner refused to compete against transgender fencer Redmond Sullivan at the Cherry Blossom Open, opting to take a knee at the start of the match, consequently being disqualified from the tournament. I knew what I had to do because USA Fencing had not been listening to women's objections regarding its gender eligibility policy, she said. I took a knee immediately at that point. Redmond was under the impression that I was going to start fencing, so when I took the knee, I looked at the ref and I said, "I'm sorry, I cannot do this. I am a woman, and this is a man, and this is a woman's tournament, and I will not fence this individual," she further urged. And rightly so. I mean, how insane is it that we even have to be having this conversation, that a college, athlete here is being forced to compete against a man with a sword? It's crazy. Redmond didn't hear me, she says. He comes up to me and he thinks I may be hurt, or he doesn't understand what's happening. And he says, "Are you okay?" And I said, "I'm sorry. I have much love and respect for you, but I will not fence you." Turner then described how she was paraded in front of a bout committee to explain her actions. She was provided a copy of the USA's Fencing's transgender policy and was forced under objection to sign a document acknowledging a black card, which is essentially banning her from the tournament. USA Fencing defended its policy, claiming that it was designed to expand access to the sport of fencing and create inclusive safe spaces. For who? You're like, what kind of a safe space are you creating here by forcing a college young lady to fence against a man? There's nothing safe about that whatsoever. This is just lunacy, guys. The policy is based on principle that everyone should have the ability to participate in sports and was based upon the research available of the day, they say. USA Fencing further proclaimed in a statement. You got this tennis legend, Martina Navratilova, I don't know how you pronounce that, is among these expressing disgust at the organization's actions. This is what happens when female athletes protest. Anyone here still thinks this is fair? She says, "I'm fuming. Shame on USA Fencing. Shame on you for doing this. How dare you throw women under the gender bus?" This guy says, "I'm sick to death of this. It's absolutely sick. Get males out of women's sports." This guy, can you imagine punishing a woman for choosing to not fight a man in college sports? What kind of upside down world are we living in? I hate this. This is how it's done. This nonsense only stops when every female athlete refuses to compete against males. I hate to see her lose for this cause, but it is a brave and necessary effort. Well done. And that's the general consensus that's coming out of this from most people who are seeing what's happening, but not from the fencing, community itself, the USA Fencing Board, who has, agreed to expel this person. Again, absolute insanity. I hope sanity returns to fencing as it did in the, world governing body of swimming, but it remains to be seen. So just wanted to bring that to your attention today about this female disc golfer who took that brave stand, standing up for women's rights and did the right thing by refusing to compete against a man. And I want to remind you about this old South Park episode that absolutely nailed it in this scene. Let's watch it once again together because it's perfect.
Do you feel ready?
Oh, yeah, I'm ready, David. There are just so many amazing women athletes out here today. It makes me so proud.
Now, this is the first year that a trans woman is in the competition. How do you feel about that?
Amazing. I feel honored to be a part of history. I have a lot of incredible trans friends who are athletes, and so we're all inspired this woman's competing.
Uh-huh. And have you actually ever met Heather Swanson?
No, I've never competed against her before, no.
She's not exactly your average trans athlete.
Well, what is an average trans athlete? Honestly, I find that kind of bigoted, David.
Okay. Heather Swanson is actually joining us now. Miss Swanson, how does it feel to be competing today?
I can't tell you how free I feel now that I've started identifying as a woman. Now that I can compete as female, I'm ready to smash the other girls.
And is it correct you just started identifying as female 2 weeks ago?
I'm not here to talk about my transition. I'm here to kick some f***ing ass. Let me tell you something, Dingleberry.
David Perry.
I'm gonna roll up the other women here, and I'm gonna smoke them. I am the strongest woman this state has ever seen.
Any words for the challenger, Miss Woman?
Good luck, Heather.
Luck is for dudes.
There it is, man. Here we are. They absolutely nailed it. I don't know how many. This video was posted 5 years ago, so kudos to South Park for pretty much, absolutely nailing what's happening here with this. This scene seems ridiculous, but this is quite literally what we're dealing with today, guys. So just wanted to bring that one to your attention. Once again, guys, if you do appreciate my efforts to do so, don't forget to check me out here at subscribestar.com/pressfortruth. Once again, you can sign up for $5, $10, $20, $50, whatever is within your means, guys, is greatly appreciated. Again, I can't continue to do this work without the support that comes directly from you, the viewer. So thank you so much to anybody who does take 1 minute to support my efforts here at Press for Truth. And that's all for today, guys. Once again, I want to thank you for watching. Please click that thumbs up button, share this video, and stay tuned, guys. We're going to have more video reports coming soon, God willing. This is Dan Dicks reporting for Press for Truth. We all want truth. The truth will set you free.